Hi everybody. The vegetables are not talking to you, but I wanted to show you what we're gonna make things out of today. So this is what we've got. I'm Lindsay, you already know me, but you didn't know those vegetables, so this is an exciting moment for you all to meet. What we're gonna do is, you've seen my recipes in the car before. What you haven't seen is me actually making things. So that's what we're gonna do today. You can see I'm not actually in a car, unless it was a really big car with a tree in it. But I am at the park, which is similar to the car in that it is not your kitchen. How about that? So this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to take you through something that I do make in the car pretty often, and you've seen a variation on one of these recipes, on both of these recipes actually, before, but I'm just so fond of them, and they're really good chemicals for my body. So and they're things that people don't actually make very often, even though they're really simple and really great for the body. So since you don't eat them very often, there goes a truck. Since you don't eat them very often, it's a really good idea to vary up those colors for your chemical intake, because of course when you're looking at something purple, that indicates a chemical. There's a chemical that's making that purple, or a compound that's making that purple. Same thing with brown, same thing with green, obviously. So we go through that. So that's how we know if we're eating really well, right? So here we go. What I've got here is a red cabbage, 99 cents a pound. Try to find meat that's cheaper than 99 cents a pound and get back to me. We also have some basil. This was $1.49 for the bunch, and you really don't need very much, and you don't want to buy very much basil at a time because it's really not going to last you more than pretty much that event that you're going to do kind of that day. So this is really all I want here, and of course if you can grow basil where you are, then by all means do. I don't always use basil because it is sometimes quite spicy, and especially here in Southern California it goes to seed quite quickly, and when it does that it's more spicy and it gets a bit bitter, and you're not actually supposed to eat it that way. But it is routinely sold here in farmers markets with the seed. And the way you know if it's gone to seed or not is right here. This has not gone to seed, thank goodness, yay, which is why I bought it. But if these little inner leaves had come up and you saw flowers on them, then you would know that it had gone to seed. Those flowers are going to create that seed. So this has not gone to seed, so we're going to use it. It's going to be great. These are some dates that I got. You want to try to not get them at the regular grocery store because they do tend to pasteurize them. So even if they say they're raw, they are what I call zapped. So they're pasteurized is a very, very high heat process, and it will turn these really beautiful complex sugars in the dates into very simple sugars. And I'm reminded of a conversation that I ended up having at 11:30 at night at the grocery store 2 nights ago with a gentleman named Lee, who just got done going through some really major heart issues, and now he's moving into a different eating lifestyle, and he was a little bit, just trying to kind of navigate it and didn't have a lot of information. So we talked a lot about dates. What you also want to know about dates is that they are super high in protein that's very absorbable and bioavailable for the body, just like all plants are. But the enzymes in the dates are really good probiotics and prebiotics. So if you're moving into a higher raw lifestyle or even a higher cooked plant lifestyle, these can be very helpful to you, because many people, because their guts have no good flora in them anymore, and because most of us really have some degree of celiac disorder because the villi in our digestive tract have just atrophied and come off over time from eating a lot of processed foods and the digestive tract not being exercised in the correct way. This will really help. It is not a substitute for heavier probiotics when you're starting a raw transformation, a raw transition, or even just moving further away from animal products or from heavier meat products. But it is a really, really good thing to do. And they're quite inexpensive. They're about $6 to $8 a pound in this medjool variety, which is the main thing that you're going to find now. They're really like meaty and smushy and lovely. These ones have their pits in them, but at many farmers markets in drier climates like California and Arizona and Utah and so forth, you can find big bags for not very much money. And if $6 to $8 sounds like a lot to pay for a fruit, I understand why it would. Just keep in mind, this fills you up quite quickly. This size of a date is going to be about 40 calories that I'm holding in my hand right now. It's about 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches. You can easily find larger ones. Some of these are a little bit larger, about 2 inches, and a little fatter, almost 1 inch thick right here. And these are going to be about 50 calories. It's common also for me to find them that would be about 60 calories each. So these are fantastic carb food to keep around, and I do keep them around because they're high protein and because they are high, simple, and complex carbohydrate providers. They don't contain any fat, but we're all pretty much getting enough fat in our diets to begin with, so I don't worry too much about that. But dates are a really excellent way to kind of up-level what you're eating. A lot of people don't know that we can put these into a lot of salads and combine them with a lot of things, and they have a really distinct flavor to them, but they go great with a ton of things and not just the things that we're going to put them with today. So really experiment. And if you go to integratewellness.com/blog, there is my recipe blog that is mostly raw, mostly vegan, mostly gluten-free, although not exclusively because I do sprout wheat berries. But Integrate is INTEGREAT wellness.com/blog, and it's a free blog. It's about 2 years old. It has a ton of recipes in it. They're super easy. They're super user-friendly. So use those, and there's a really lovely date and pecan and tomato recipe that now would be a really good time of year to take advantage of, because you can get dates pretty much year-round, and these just came into season now starting in September, so we're really lucky right now. We've also got a lime. I couldn't get an organic one today, I'm afraid, so we're not going to use any of the rind, but we're going to do our best with what we've got. This is a really beautiful ripe avocado. I'm going to show you how to open that in a way that you can do in the car. And then a banana. You've heard of those before, I'm sure. And what I've got in here is just a small container of raw buckwheat groats, and that's the white stuff that you see in here, and chia seeds, which you're probably getting pretty familiar with from the media. The chia seeds are pretty much entirely fat, so be aware of that. We're going to have some fat in our menu today, but they're very high omega-3 as well, and for hot days like it is in California right now, and when it's very dry, it's really important to stay hydrated. And if you eat chia seeds without hydrating them and plumping them first in a liquid, you will dehydrate your body further, because what they do is they soak up liquid. So if you put them in your stomach right now, they will soak up the acid in your stomach, but they will soak up everything else too. But if you hydrate them ahead of time and then put them in the body, what they actually do is hold that hydration that they gathered. They're like little tadpoles. So they form kind of a little gel-like structure around themselves, and that will actually hold you really well on a hike or through Bikram yoga or whatever it is that you're doing. They don't have really a flavor to them either, and so you can add them to a lot of things. Okay, so that's what we have. We're going to go ahead and do this up. I'm going to tell you, although we're at the park, I do this in the car on a small plate. I've kept a salad plate in the car, and I just keep wipes that have some orange oil on them that I've actually posted about before that are fantastic, from Urban Essences, spelled Herban, and they haven't asked me to mention them or anything, and and as far as I know, I'm not being compensated for it, but it'll be great if I get surprised, and I am. But because they have that orange oil in them, they are antibacterial, just naturally, and disinfectants, and so they're great to keep in the car. They're a little bit sticky from time to time, so just be aware of that, but you probably have water in your car anyway, so if you want to do a quick rinse after, you can. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of cut this up. Any style you like is cool, and I do have a bowl. My bowl's over here. It has tabbouleh in it, but just bear with me because I like tabbouleh. So I'm just going to cut these up. I also keep in the car this paring knife, just a small knife, and a tea towel. And that helps with lots of things, partly because I'm a very involved eater and driver, and so I do spill from time to time, and especially because usually what I'm drinking is lime water or lemon water, and that will actually bleach your clothes. and your car seats, incidentally, if it stays on there. But if you get some water on it real quickly and then just dry it off, then you're all good. So, and then be aware too, for those of you who have tasted the Muncho's Raw snacks in the Skinny Irishman fat-free variety, you know that we use purple potatoes and red cabbage in that variety. And a lot of you have said how fun and kind of interesting it is to have that red cabbage in there. So I want to let you know that we are going to, do some seasonal variations with that red cabbage. Because I'm the only one eating this, and it really doesn't matter anyway, and tabbouleh is good with everything, I'm just going to put it in here with the tabbouleh. But what you can do, if you don't have a bowl in the car, and I tried to have a bowl in the car, but I decided it was just kind of hard to clean it, since I'm not like going into a kitchen or taking it home or anything right now. So what I've done instead, I have opted for the plasticware that's available at the grocery store. Obviously, that's not ideal. Take a container with you that you can wash if you can. But as you know, I'm in the car right now, so so I have to make some other arrangements. Now, what I'm going to do here, this is super simple, right? We're just going to put the basil in here. This is not rocket science, kids, but it is curing cancer in its way, right? So that's exciting. It's curing cancer without making it hard. So here we go. We're just going to throw it all in here. I don't even cut it. Many people do cut it, but in cooking school we learned that that the interaction with the carbon on the knife is not ideal, and it does brown it. Now that doesn't mean that that we don't have to do it from time to time, but this is just for you. It's all good. So you can cut it if you want, but I'm not going to cut it today. And so then what we've got, I'm just going to tear these up. And the reason is because we've got this pit in here, and we don't really need it, obviously, because you're not going to eat that, probably. And again, if I had a harder surface, I could cut these up too if I wanted, but they're kind of fun in the bigger pieces. So all I'm doing, I put these into about 3 pieces. See that? And they're really lovely. And you can do lots of things with dates, even if you were to put them in the salad still. You could actually just take the pit out and then stuff it with something, whether you want a whole garlic clove. I'm going to even do it for you right now so you can just see how easy it would be. See, I just kind of stick my finger in there and it'll come out for you. And then you can put something else in it. Put a little jalapeno piece in there. See how that works? It's real simple. And what I'll in fact do, just because I'm showing you, and you're not going to have to be poisoned by my non-organic lime, what I'm going to do, see, simple as that. So if you had an organic lime rind, you could put it in there. Make a little margarita salad, right? Put them in there. And that's a really lovely garnish, even if you weren't going to eat it. So we're going to do that. I think that's enough. I'm just going to do that much of the basil, but you can do as much as you want. So this is really simple. Okay, now I've got my avocado. This is a really big one for around here. We get a lot of smaller ones around here. We get a lot of everything around here, but. So what I'm going to do here, you've probably seen on the cooking shows now, you can kind of you can kind of hit your knife into your pit and kind of finagle it out. And that's cool. You can also, with a spoon, just kind of scoop that out and then cut it as you like. What I've got today is a knife, not a spoon, and that's okay too. So what I do, I've learned actually that eating avocados in the car it's actually a really active, easy food to eat in the car, even if you're driving. Like it's kind of like a hamburger that way. It's just like really easy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just cutting it just a tiny bit. And honestly, I've done this with my fingernail too on days when I couldn't find the knife. So this is really simple, and I don't know of any other way to lose less of the avocado than to peel it like this, except that this one's being a little trickier, but it's all good. We're all friends here. So this is how this is working. Got that? See, I lost nothing here. My yield is really excellent. So there we go. You can do whatever you want. Do shapes, whatever you want. I often do cubes because I just like them. I just think it's good. But you can do it however you want. And notice, I mean, I'm not I'm not even really using the towel because, of course, the towel would get kind of crazied up with the avocado smush on it. But this is just kind of showing you, again, you don't need a kitchen. You don't even need a plate in order to make a really good salad for yourself. And then what I'm going to do, so this is what we've got so far. Not bad. I know the video is a little bit washed out because it's just so darn sunny here. But it's an awfully good problem to have. So, now what I'm going to do is for my dressing, I've got my lime. I always keep a lime in the car, or a lemon, always. There's never not a lemon or lime in my car, ever. Okay, I'm just going to put that on there. Again, you don't want to put it on a lot ahead of time because you will brown the basil. The acid from the limes and the lemons will interact. It'll be really good for the avocado, but it'll be really bad for anything green, anything dark green, because it'll start killing that chlorophyll, which you don't want, and pickling it in kind of a weird, creepy way. So, if I had some salt, I'd use it here, but I forgot to bring the salt out, which is okay. But this tabbouleh actually is quite salty, so I'm going to actually use it this time. And you can see my hands are clean anyway, but also bearing in mind, you know, you can use a utensil if you really want to, but I'm the only one eating this, so it really doesn't matter. Also, pretty much everything that I'm touching right now is antibacterial. So on top of me being the only one eating this in the first place, I'm actually cleaning my hands right now, which is a fun addition. So this is what we've got right here. We made that in like 5 minutes. How's that? Okay, so I'm going to wipe my hands off here for a second. Give me a second here. This is also what towels are good for. And we're probably into the second YouTube video now because I see we're past 15 minutes. I'm still figuring out the whole 15-minute thing. But it's all good, man. It's all good. Okay, so what you do want to keep in mind, these are already sprouting for us, okay? So this is already giving us what we want. I'm just going to kind of show you consistency a little bit. This is soupier. I could do it with less water and it would still come up just fine. But these buckwheats are already available to eat. They've already activated for us, which is really awesome of them to do. It's very kind. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this time, this is just a really traditional, like basic beginning level of your buckwheat chia pudding. This is really common. So I'm just going to put these little guys in here. And because these sprout so fast, like I just did this, like before I came over here and turned the camera on. But they're just already kind of there. But if I were doing this and I wanted like a sweeter porridge, what I would do is cut up those dates and put them in here, and they would sweeten the water, and we would have a sweetwater pudding. So we've got these. I'm going to go ahead and cut these up a bit. But again, if you don't have a knife, it's really not a big deal because you saw me doing this a minute ago with the salad, and I cut up almost nothing. And even with the cabbage, I didn't really have to cut it up. I could have just torn it. And it's actually a little bit easier on the energetics and on the aura of the cabbage if it's just torn. So, uh-oh, hang on. Hang on, I lost a bag. There we go. Okay, got it. So this is what we've got. So we went from me just jabbering at you for quite some time before I even started making anything to having easily a picnic for 2 people right here. I mean, if there were another person here, you know, of course. So this is what we've got here. This is what can I show it to you? I don't know. I don't want to like tip it over too much. How can I do this? There we go. Now we've got it. But again, this is really good for you. It's really filling. It's quite satisfying, actually. And there goes my lighting again. And then this is what we've got on our salad. So I'm going to take a picture of this and we'll post it to Instagram. And if you want to take a look, if you're here and if you're hearing this, then it means you clicked on the link and now you're in the car food vlog. Huh, how about that? So anyway, happy Labor Day from Pacific Palisades. Great to see you. Take care. Peace and blessings.